This is Big Chuck. The goal of Big Chuck was to light more than 2 of these igniters at the same time. At the end of the day, all this thing really is just closing the circuit about 20 times, but it just looks really cool. It's a very overkill way of lighting something, whether it be launching rockets or launching skateboards, or lighting like anything. Like if you're gonna light something on fire, like you have to, or like blow something up, like you gotta do it in style. I could just hook up a battery to a single switch like this one and call it a day, but that would be no fun. Look at how blind this is. Just one single switch. So let me show you how Big Chuck works. So this thing is controlled by an Arduino Uno, and all this thing does is control the keypad, the LCD, and the relay. This is really just like the fancy part of it. So if the code is right, it'll send a signal to a relay. And so since the relay is closed, these switches are open. So you need to close them. And then finally you just have to press the big red button, which will close the rest of the circuit. You can actually see the thing closing like real time. You see the metal hitting? I think that's pretty neat. And this thing is powered by a 9-volt battery. So I was going to get the battery off Amazon, but I didn't want to risk it coming in the mail like bloated or damaged, because that is actually very dangerous. And especially if I'm going to be spending my own money, you know, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So I was going to go on Amazon and order one, but I didn't want to risk it because here in Arizona it's always like it's hot year round. You know, you don't get cold water here, okay? For like 9 months out of the year, you don't get cold water, okay? It's so damn hot here. So I went over to a hobby store, and I already walked in there and just asked for the beefiest thing they had within my budget. And so I got this 4S LiPo, 5200 milliamp hours. It's pretty beefy for what it's overkill for what I'm using. Like I just need like enough current to like dump into the igniters, like without there's no room for error here. Okay, they all need to go off at once. Yeah, like 5200 milliamp hours, man. Like this thing is able to start a car and kill a donkey. So to start off, to even get this thing turned on, you're gonna need a key. Bada bing, bada boom. And so once that's on, you have to punch in the code. I'm not going to show you the code, obviously. Once I have the code in and I want to enter it in, I press the pound sign, or a hashtag as you kids call it, and you'll actually hear the relay inside click. Now it says the system is armed. So now you flip these 3 switches, and you press this big red button here. Now watch what happens when I press this big red button. So it's a pretty convoluted way of switching current to a load, but I think it's pretty neat. But make sure you're subscribed because there's more content like this on the way. Good night.